doing amazing. Talk motivation. Let's talk about the fact that it's towards the end of January and those goals that you thought you were going to nail are now starting to fall off. And if anything, you're going, why is it that I keep falling into this cycle? First, we're going to talk about the cycle. We're going to debunk the cycle. And we're going to start talking about what you can do instead. So, if you haven't already commented below, be sure to let me know what one of your 2022 goals are. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to be able to cheer you on. And we're going to talk about how you can make moves to actually put that thing into reality. Okay, so I'm going to break out my notes here to make sure I don't miss anything. First things first, when we're talking about goals, when we're talking about this idea of wanting to make moves and do something amazing, we need to remember that that goal and that vision is something that connects you to what it is that you desire to be, desire to come. And so it's important to honor that space within yourself, to say, okay, why is it that this is so valuable to me? Why is it that this keeps coming up? And when you do, then it's choosing to say, am I actually willing to commit to making this thing happen? Because a lot of times we'll create goals because they just sound good, or we want to impress somebody, we want to have something to share at a cocktail party. Not that I've actually been to a cocktail party, but the whole point is we sometimes will create these goals with the idea of trying to impress others when this really needs to be about what you want. This is one of the few places that you can do this just for you. So first thing you need to get clear on is this something that you really desire for you? Next is to recognize that motivation to get started and to do the thing is very unstable. It's like, yes, I'm starting to think of some. Anyway, the whole point, that motivation is here today, gone tomorrow. The motivation to join the gym, to lose the weight, to change the diet, to be more active, to be more social, all those things will be true for a certain amount of time. But unless there's sustainable action behind it, all it takes is just one day to throw you off, to have you feel unsettled, and all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. Right? So the age of motivation was a really, really big thing where it was just if we just get up in the morning, listen to the thing, go for the run, do the cold shower, whatever it is that's somehow going to push us to make it happen. But that honestly ends up wearing us down. And instead of wearing us down, our goals should build us up. So, what are the things that we can do instead? First is to recognize that your goal needs to be rooted in a change, right? And that change means that there's a different behavior, a different action that you need to take. So saying, I'm going to lose 50 pounds, that's great. So you join the gym. Awesome. That's a wonderful first step if you choose to do that. Do you need to join a gym in order to lose that weight? Not necessarily. But if you recognize that there are additional steps beyond just simply joining the gym and showing up, that you need to start to incorporate a new habit and a new behavior to actually make that happen, then it will just simply be that you joined a gym and you're looking at your bill or your credit card bill in April going, why do I have a charge for this place? Okay. So let's make sure we're in a place where we're choosing to find ways to create those sustainable habits and those sustainable behaviors. Okay. So we're going to dive into this a little bit more actually in our Facebook group. So Frustrated to Free. If you've not seen the link for that, I've popped it on that, and you can join us every other Wednesday for the foreseeable future. We'll be on for a little bit of time to just sit down and just go hard on going, okay, let me figure out how I can get clear on what it is that I'm doing. Let me make sure I can actually put into practice the life that I desire to live and not just think pie in the sky, but not actually connect with it. Okay. So with that, when you're talking about motivation, motivation again is wonderful and great, but it is like the wind. You never know when it's going to be there and you don't know when it's coming back. So instead, look at the habits that you can put in place instead. Look at the changes that you can make that will allow you to build. Because when you start that building process, that's where the phenomenal changes happen. Okay. So I'll just give a quick example of something that I've employed and I've found such massive success with it is I decided that I'd like to start writing in terms of creating my own content, things for books, things for blogs, that kind of thing. I was doing that a little bit before, but it felt like pulling teeth. So I want to be able to enjoy the writing process. So I made a very small but helpful move, which is whenever I open my laptop, which I'm on right now, I have a little sticky note. I have one of those little post-it note things. It's a type on thing. I guess it's like OneNote or whatever. But I go in there and I write a sentence every single time I sit at the computer. That simple. And what's cool is that the more that I do that, the more it's actually gotten me to think about, okay, what is it that I can create content on? What is it that I can think about? How is it that I can choose to be creative in that way? I love doing scribe work. If you know me personally, I love to write down thoughts and ideas, but the idea of having it where it's for somebody else feels a little bit daunting. So it's helping me to break into that. And because I'm doing that as a routine practice, I now am building up that ability to go for that goal in a book, to go for that goal of publishing and becoming a phenomenal help to others in the arena that God calls me to. Okay. So, with that in mind, just quick and simple, stop relying on motivation and instead choose to rely on a habit, a behavior, something that is within your control. Motivation is in one day, out the next, or in 3 seconds later, and then gone the next. So we choose to use things that are sustainable instead. So again, I invite you to the Facebook group. We're going to be hopping on there today. We're going to be doing some talks about this more in depth. Until then, have a great one, and I will talk to you later. Bye.